Faisal, Sahil, Roy, and Anjal with me, and we are going to talk about the new project on Gregorian Public School that we are going to build a new kindergarten. So, the main idea is to provide a safe, modern, and welcoming place where small children can learn and play. The school will have two classrooms, staff facilities, an office, and even an outdoor play area. So, when we first looked at the project, it felt very big. But to make it easier, we used something called a work breakdown structure or WBS. So this basically means we broke the big project into smaller steps. For example, instead of saying build a school, we separated it into things like leasing the land, getting permits, setting up classrooms, creating staff amenities, building the playground, and then doing inspections and handover. So this made the project much easier to plan and control. So one important update we made was about permits and zoning. So at first, we thought this would take only about 4 weeks, but when we thought about it, how long approvals usually take in real life, so we realized that it is not just 4 weeks, that was really short. So to keep the project realistic, we changed that part of the scheduling to 10 months. So this change made a very big difference to the timeline, but it also made our plan so much stronger. So, in short, I would say that the project is not just about building classrooms, but about creating an entire safe learning environment for the children. And the WPS was the first step that helped us structure the work properly. I would like to hand over this schedule overview to Roy.
Now let me explain the schedule itself. We use Libre software to create the schedule as it gave us a Gantt chart which shows the order of tasks, the start and end dates, and how long each one will take. The schedule really helped us to see the whole project will run from start to finish. The project officially begins in September 2025 with the land identification and leasing. This part includes finding the land, evaluating it, negotiating the lease, then moving into the permits and zoning stage because the permits and approvals take a long time. This stage runs almost a full year, ending on January 2027. Once the approvals are ready, we move into the construction stage. In January and February of 2027, the classrooms are built and furnished. At the same time, technology is installed and safety systems are set up. In March, we complete staff amenities like staff room, restrooms, and administration offices. After that, in March and April 2027, the outdoor play area is built, including playground equipment and safety surface. The last part of the schedule is in April and May 2027. This is when the safety inspection system testing and final documentations are carried out before the school is actually handed over. Although the schedule runs from September 2025 until May 2027, which is about 1 year and 8 months in total, this gave us a clear view on how projects move step by step until completion. Now I handle over to Anjal. He will be speaking about critical paths.
Anjal, you are on mute.
In any project, some activities are more important than others. These important ones are on what we call the critical path. Critical path is the chain of tasks that directly control the finish date. If one of them is late, the whole project is delayed. In our schedule, the critical path begins with site identification and evaluation, then moves into lease negotiation, and after that, the permits and the zoning approvals. This part is the longest and one of the most risky because permits often take lots of time. After that, the path continues with classroom layout and infrastructure design, then furniture and material setups, followed by safety systems and technology installations. Finally, near the end of the project, the critical path goes to safety inspections, system testing, final documentation, and handover. These tasks are directly connected, which means that they must happen in order one after the other. Let me say, for example, until the permits are ready, no construction work can begin, and until safety inspections are completed, the handover cannot happen. This shows how important it is to know the critical path. Project managers need to monitor these steps very closely. If we manage them well, the project stays on track. If we don't, then even a small delay can push the entire project months behind. So the critical path is really like the backbone of the whole project. It tells us where to focus our time and attention. So I'm handing over to Faisal.
Thank you. Now let's talk about resources and risks. A project like this needs many people and materials, and we have to plan them carefully. For resources, we need contractors to build the classroom, architects to design the spaces, IT specialists to install the technology, and compliance officers to check the safety standards. We also need input from teachers to make sure the classrooms are designed in a way that they support learning. The schedule shows when each of these groups is needed so that their work doesn't overlap too much and causes confusion. Furthermore, risks are another big part of the project. The biggest risk was identified in risks we identified was delays in permits, which is why we extended the task to 10 months. And other risks include supply delays, weather problems, or even budget issues. Uh, if we didn't think about these risks, we might have created a schedule that looked good on paper but failed in real life. Therefore, we need to handle these risks um, with caution. We built some flexibility into the plan. For example, we allowed extra time for ordering furniture and equipment so that if there are shipping delays, the whole project won't be affected. Moreover, we also planned contingency time during construction so that small problems don't cause big setbacks and bigger problems for us. All in all, by carefully planning both resources and risks, we made sure that the project can stay on time and within budget, which is our main goal. This made the schedule not just a list of dates, but a real guide for how to manage the project. Now I'll pass it to Sail.
Thank you, Faisal. To conclude, our schedule shows a clear and realistic way of completing the kindergarten project. As we can say, the work breakdown structure helped us in so many ways, like project into smaller and manageable steps, and we can see the schedule from Libre turn those steps into a timeline and that we can actually follow. So we can say that one of the biggest lesson we have learned was how important it is to plan realistically. Moreover, at first, we thought permits could be finished in just a month, but as we have seen, it was taking too much time. So, but by changing it to 10 months, we created a schedule that feels much closer to what would really happen. So it's always best to do like this. This adjustment also showed us how project planning is not just about making a chart, it's all about thinking ahead and preparing the real challenge. Moreover, another lesson was the importance of risk planning. It is always important because a project like this has moving with many parts, so and if even a small step is delayed it can affect the whole timeline. So for example, by adding buffer time and planning resources carefully, we made the project more suitable. So I will end like by May 2027, the school will be ready and it will be safe, modern, and designed not only for learning but also for playing and development with co-curriculum activities. This project is not just about finishing construction, but it's about giving children and teachers a space they can enjoy. Overall, the schedule shows that with proper planning, even a large project can be completed step by step without any confusion. Thank you, and thank you to my all teammates for contributing.
Can you stop recording?